What is an unspoken rule of air travel? Don't clog in front of the gate if your section hasn't been called yet. This one should actually get written and enforced harshly. Don't wallow in Cologne before boarding. That's gonna be difficult since I'm living in Cologne. Heck, I was hoping somebody would chime in from there. HEADPHONES. Don't clap when the plane lands. I'm gonna do it on my flight cause I'm in the airport RN. Go crazy clap when the plane takes off. Air travel could use a dose of levity right now. Just edit it. I'm getting the great stare. Long hair people, do not put them over your seat, so the TV of behind guy is covered. Even if there is not a TV, keep your hair in your own space. Treat the stewards with tons of respect. Remember to stretch on long-haul flights. Learn this on a 17-hour flight the hard way. Know what you want from the snack cart. I can't comprehend people who disrespect the stewards. They're specifically trained to save your ass first in case of an emergency. Not only that, it's called being a decent human. I discovered this past year, did a lot of flying. The nicer you are, the better they treat you. Example, on a flight from Ethiopia back to Washington DC, I greeted the stewards walking in, thanked them for snacks, meals, even taking my trash. I asked them if I was sleeping, if they could wake me up when we landed, or if you were to stretch my legs. They were more than happy to. Also gave me extra snacks. Sometimes being decent pays off. Don't put your bare feet on someone else's seat, or near the armrest of the seat in front of you. No matter the line size behind you, you always give the person in front of you the opportunity to exit first. The exception I've seen is when we're delayed, and a few people have tight connections. The flight crew announces them, and then you should let them go first. I haven't seen the last part actually happen, which makes me sad. Wash yourself before the flight, and put on clean clothes, and keep your feet and hair to yourself. Don't have full volume conversations, or any conversation, on a red-eye flight. To add to that, especially if the person is legit not sitting directly beside you. I had a flight from the East Coast to Vegas a few years back, about 4 hours, and had to listen to two people behind me, who were across aisles, and in different rows, have a full-on conversation about everything under the sun. Judging by the conversation, they weren't even familiar with each other, probably just met in the waiting area. That's exactly what happened to us on the red-eye to London in March. A woman behind us talking across the aisle to a gyro in front of her, and they had just met. Before we sat down, she said it was her first international trip. I even tried to put headphones on to drown them out, and it didn't work. LPT, travel with earplugs. Take your full-size luggage on as carry-on. Take up all the overhead bin space, and when asked to gate check your shit, refuse. Do this and you will fit right in. Oh damn, nailed it. I carry a duffel bag, stash it in the overhead, and then sit down watch the circus. This guy's seat is at the back of the plane, so his carry-on must go in the first overheads. Her suitcase is huge, but she's pretty sure that if she can mash other people's belongings, it will go in. The lady that wants first seat, and gets indignant, because she has to put her purse in the overhead. You don't ask someone to trade your middle seat for their aisle/window seat. If you're morbidly obese, you need to buy 2 seats. Sorry not sorry. I read about a lady who actually tried to do this, and they made her give up her second seat. What if? She did it to be nice, and not make other people uncomfortable. She'd better have gotten a refund at least. If they announce that some people on the plane have really tight connection, be polite and let them off first. Especially if you have time to get to your next gate, or if you're at your final destination. In general, Don't sweat tight connections. Your luggage will take longer than you do anyway, and the connection will wait a bit, if it has to. Don't be chill when your kids are kicking the seat in front of them. Eater. If you have an aisle seat, and the person in the middle, or window seat needs to use the restroom, well, sucks to be you, you have to get up. Please, dear men, don't suggest that the female stranger next to you could crawl over your lap, because you're too lazy to move. That's why I sit by the window. Don't grab the back of my seat to help your ass stand up, and especially don't grab my hair when you do it. I don't need to be woken up by you yanking my head back and pulling out my hair, too. You don't like the human slingshot feeling every time the person behind you stands up. Middle seat gets both armrests. I always get no armrests in the middle. As a pilot, my unspoken rule is to actually land the plane low. What airline do you fly for where that's not a spoken rule? Spirit. Fitting that a Spirit pilot has this unspoken rule. We get it, we're in a coastal airport, Bose, Maya, Lax, etc. We know, legal seafood. Congratulations on your $50 clam chowder. Nobody needs your baked cod on the plane. FFS. Start fights with the air stewardess who won't serve you your 12th beer. Didn't you stop, boss hog? RIP. When the flight attendant asks you to do something, they're not actually asking. They're telling you nicely. And when they request something from you, that is the rule of law on that plane and you will obey. Many people don't understand that. Once you leave the ground, that captain is your president. Deal with it. It's international law. They win. Don't hit people in the face when standing/walking down the aisle with your bag, or just casually punching people. Don't stick your arm down the airplane toilet just to see where it's all going. People do that. WTF. Yes. People. Definitely not me. You. Not American. Do Americans do this? Also not American. But yeah. Totally not me. I would never do that. Damn sweat from forehead. Wear comfortable clothes. Within reason. Some people take this a tad too far. Chew gum before the plane takes off. Stops your ears from popping. Also yawn when you get off the plane. You are not the only person in this airport/on this plane. If you are as important as you are making out to be/think you are, why aren't you on a private jet? Don't clap when the plane lands. If the plane crashes, do the people who normally clap boo instead? It's usually more of a scream, honestly. Don't make out during the flight. Your knees don't have to be pressed against the luggage belt to get your luggage. Stand the hell back, yours isn't even coming off first. So many to list headphones. Nobody wants to hear your music or your conversations. Wear shoes, this isn't your living room. If you're in zone 5, don't block the boarding area when they are boarding zone 1. Move with a purpose. Don't meander walking through the terminal. Just because your seat reclines isn't mean you should do it. Never going to not recline. I don't get this one. For the little comfort you get, you make the person's space behind you pretty much unusable. They recline like 2 inches, you'll live. Don't request someone else's, usually more expensive, seat unless you have a good reason to. Your child's first flight, or wanting to use the window as a sleeping wall are not good enough. It makes it worse that the crew will almost always side with the requester.